Weeks after a Palestine man's execution was halted by the Texas Supreme Court, tonight the family of the 2-year-old he was convicted of murdering is sharing their side of the story. Thank you for staying late with us after the Game 4. I'm Annabelle Tuggle. In an exclusive interview tonight, I had the opportunity to sit down with Nikki Curtis's brother as he poured his heart out. And a warning, images shown in this story may be disturbing to some viewers. It's been 22 years since Matthew Bowman last saw his little sister, Nikki Curtis.
That's the only sibling that I had.
He never thought his little shadow, as he called her, would end up hooked up to machines and dying in a hospital bed.
She was an awesome friend.
Even though Bowman was only 4 at the time of her death, he says his family has never been the same.
You might as well have killed my parents.
These 2 decades haven't involved the typical grieving process for Nikki's family. Instead, it's been a roller coaster of emotions.
We're still constantly reliving the same nightmare we went through in 2002, and now I'm 26, about to be 27, and I'm still going to courts. I'm still going to appeals.
So he sat down with me at State Representative Cody Harris's office with the hopes of clearing up his family's thoughts.
All I've seen them do is try to blame that she was a sick baby and was never playful, basically, is what they're trying to make her seem to be. And that is far from the truth.
Bowman never expected the political battle that would follow Nikki's death.
It's all been one-sided. It's all been nothing but about him. And it's time that Nikki's heard. She was 2 years old then, and she was trying to get away from him. She was trying to scream. She was trying to ask for help, but nobody listened then. And I'm trying to get it out there now.
Now, the Texas House Committee and a long list of advocates are fighting for the man convicted of her murder, Robert Robertson, to not be executed.
I think they've turned my sister into a politic game. I think that's all this is a big game to them. And this is about a 2-year-old's life, and they should be ashamed of themselves for doing that to her.
Bowman says he's been open to hearing new evidence, but Robertson's appeals have been exhausted, and still he doesn't have a reason to believe Robertson is innocent. So what do you have to say to people who believe that Robert Robertson is innocent?
I wish they would look at the evidence from the time that he was 18 to the time that he lost his 2 children to the time where his wife spoke out about him. Just look at all the evidence from the beginning to the end and then make your decision. Don't just go off of his side.
He adds people are forgetting the biggest tragedy is that a 2-year-old lost her life, and he just wants justice for Nikki and for his family to finally be able to move forward. Well, it was a very emotional interview, as you can tell, but you can also tell that he loved his sister. I spoke with State Representative Cody Harris as well, who's been in communication with Matthew Bowman, and he says there are only 2 next steps available for Robertson's case. Listen to what he had to say.
One is for the subpoena to be exercised and Mr. Robertson to testify before the committee, whether that's in person at the prison or at the Capitol or over Zoom. Then the subpoena would no longer be in place. Or the Texas Supreme Court issues a final ruling on whether or not the committee actually had the authority to issue that subpoena and stop the execution to begin with.
Representative Harris also said the Texas House Committee's issuing of Robertson's subpoena is setting a dangerous precedent, and he believes powers were overstepped to halt the execution. We have also heard from Thomas Robertson, Robert's sibling, who's supporting his brother's innocence, saying Robert actually stepped up to take care of Nikki after the state took the child from her mother, adding that Nikki's grandparents handed custody over to Robert. Thomas ends his letter by saying Nikki had a father who loved her and Robert has a family that loves him, adding that he understands the pain Nikki's family is going through, but that he believes they're only coming out against Robert publicly to justify his execution. There are many different sides and layers to this story that have been played out over the last 22 years, and we have all of our coverage, including recent appeals on this case, over on our website. That's fox51.com.